Something's malfunctioning inside you, and you can't pinpoint when it started. You open your eyes in the morning, and there's a lag, like your system is trying to boot up, but something's preventing it from loading fully. You go through your routine, but every action feels delayed, disconnected, like you're pressing buttons and nothing's responding the way it used to. You try to access motivation. File not found. You try to open excitement about your goals. Application has stopped working. You try to run the version of yourself that functioned last month, last year. Program is not responding. And the most terrifying part isn't that things feel off. It's that you can't force them back to normal. You can't restart the applications manually. You can't troubleshoot your way back to who you were. Because what's happening to you isn't a glitch you can fix. It's a system-wide reset you can't stop. And this video finding you right now, in the middle of the crash, that's not coincidence. That's your final notification before everything shuts down and restarts as something completely different. Let me tell you what's actually happening. Your internal operating system is failing, not because you did something wrong, but because you outgrew it. Think about it. You've been running on the same core programming since you were a child. The beliefs your parents installed, the values society uploaded, the identity you constructed to survive, to be accepted, to avoid rejection. And for years, maybe decades, that operating system worked. It kept you functional. It ran the programs you needed. It processed information in ways that made sense for who you were and where you were going. But you're not that person anymore. You've been downloading new experiences, new awareness, new levels of consciousness, and all that new data is incompatible with your old system. Your OS can't process it, can't integrate it. It can't run the new programs you're trying to install. So it's doing what any overwhelmed system does when it detects fundamental incompatibility. It's crashing slowly, systematically shutting down every program that can't function in the new configuration you're becoming. Here's what that crash looks like in real life. You wake up and the routine that used to be automatic now requires conscious effort. Making coffee, getting dressed, responding to messages. Things that used to happen on autopilot now feel like you're manually operating every function. And it's exhausting because you're trying to run deprecated software on hardware that's already upgraded. Your body knows you've changed. Your soul knows you've evolved. But your mind is still trying to execute old commands. Go to that job that drains you. Maintain that relationship that's one-sided. Chase that goal you only wanted because someone else said you should. And every time you try to run those old programs, your system freezes. Not because you're broken, but because those programs are incompatible with the version of you that's installing. Now here's the part nobody tells you about internal resets. They're not optional. You don't get to choose when your system upgrades. You don't get to delay the restart. You don't get a pop-up asking, "Install update now," or "Remind me later." When your operating system detects critical incompatibility, when it realizes the current configuration is preventing you from functioning at your next level, it initiates a forced shutdown. No warning, no countdown, just a slow, inevitable crash that leaves you watching everything you thought was permanent systematically shut down. Your motivation, your certainty, your sense of direction, your connection to people who knew the old version, your interest in goals that made sense for who you were, one by one, like programs closing in preparation for restart. And you're sitting there panicking, trying to reopen them, clicking frantically, but they won't respond, because they can't. They're being deleted permanently. Let me give you the metaphor that'll make this click. Imagine your phone is updating. You didn't initiate it. You're using it normally, and suddenly it says, "Preparing update. Do not turn off your device." And you have no choice. You can't cancel it. You can't use your phone while it's happening. All you can do is watch the progress bar move slowly across the screen. 1%, 5%, 20%. And during that update, your phone is useless. You can't call anyone, can't text, can't access your apps. It's temporarily a brick. And if you try to force it to function, if you try to restart it manually before the update completes, you risk corrupting everything. So you wait, frustrated, disconnected, watching the percentage climb while your entire device is locked in a state between old and new. That's where you are right now. You're in the update phase. Your system is installing a new operating system, one that's compatible with who you're becoming. But until the installation completes, you can't function as your old self, and you can't access your new self yet either. You're stuck in the loading screen, and every attempt to bypass it, to force yourself back to normal, just delays the installation. Now here's what's being deleted during this reset, and this is where it gets uncomfortable. All the programming you didn't choose, the beliefs you inherited without questioning. I should have a stable job. I should be married by now. I should want what everyone else wants. I should be further along. Those shoulds are corrupted files. They were uploaded by people who couldn't see who you actually are, and your system is purging them. All the goals you adopted to prove yourself, to make your parents proud, to impress people who don't even think about you anymore. Those are applications you're not using. They're taking up space, draining your energy, and they're being uninstalled. All the relationships where you performed instead of existed, where you shrank to make them comfortable, where you gave and received nothing. Those are broken connections. Your system is severing them, not to hurt you, but to protect you, because the new version of you that's being installed won't have the capacity to run those programs anymore. It won't tolerate those connections. It won't accept those limitations. So they have to go now, during the reset, while you're too locked up to fight back. Here's why you're resisting this, why you're terrified. Because deletion feels like death. Watching pieces of your identity get erased. Watching goals you spent years building suddenly become irrelevant. Watching relationships you invested in fall away. It feels like you're losing yourself, like you're disappearing. And part of you is, the part that was constructed, the part that was performing, the part that was running on borrowed programming. That part is being deleted, and you can't get it back. You can't restore from backup because that version of you, that operating system, is obsolete. It can't hold what you're about to become. It can't process the level you're about to operate on. It can't run the life you're about to live. So it has to die completely. And something in you knows that. That's why you're here. That's why this video found you. Because you're in the final stages of deletion. The progress bar is at 98%. And you needed confirmation that this reset, this terrifying dismantling of everything familiar, is supposed to happen. It's not failure. It's evolution. Let me tell you what happens after the reset completes. After your system finishes deleting the old and installing the new, you reboot. And at first, it's disorienting because nothing looks the same. Your interface has changed. Your capabilities have expanded. Your processing speed has increased. But you don't recognize yourself. You look at the goals you used to chase and feel nothing. You think about the person you used to be and can't connect to them. You interact with people who knew the old version and realize you're speaking different languages now. And that disorientation, that feeling of being a stranger to yourself, that's not a problem. That's proof the update worked. Proof you're running on a completely different system, one that's not compatible with your old life, one that requires new goals, new connections, new ways of being. And at first that feels like loss. But then you start to notice something. You're not struggling anymore, not forcing, not pretending. The things that align with your new system feel effortless. The people who match your new frequency appear naturally. The opportunities that fit your new configuration open without you having to manipulate them. Because you're no longer running programs that contradict your core. You're no longer trying to operate from an outdated system. You're finally running on software that matches who you actually are. Now here's what you need to do during this reset phase. And this is critical. Stop trying to force the old programs to run. Stop trying to access the old version of yourself. Stop clicking on applications that are already being deleted. Every time you try to resurrect motivation that's incompatible with who you're becoming, you delay the installation. Every time you try to maintain relationships that were built on the old you interrupt the update. Every time you try to force yourself to care about goals that no longer align, you risk corrupting the entire process. The reset is happening. You can't stop it. You can't slow it down. You can't save the parts you want to keep. All you can do is let it complete. And letting it complete looks like this. Stop fighting the emptiness where excitement used to be. Stop panicking about the disconnection from people who knew the old version. Stop trying to figure out who you're becoming before the installation finishes. Just exist in the loading screen. Just breathe through the shutdown. Just trust that when the reboot happens, when your system comes back online, you'll have access to capabilities you didn't even know were possible, but only if you stop interrupting the process. Here's why this video found you right now. You're at 99%. The old system is almost completely deleted. The new one is almost fully installed. And right before a system restarts, right before it goes from complete shutdown to full reboot, there's a moment, a pause, where everything goes dark, where the screen is black and you're not sure if it's going to come back on. That's where you are, in the darkness between systems, and your mind is panicking because darkness feels like the end. But it's not the end. It's the transition. It's the final second before everything turns back on. Upgraded, faster, clearer, more powerful. And this message finding you in that final second, that's your confirmation. The reset is almost complete. The darkness is almost over. And when you come back online, you won't recognize the life you're about to access. If you're in this reset right now, if your old programs aren't working and your new ones haven't loaded yet, if you're watching pieces of your identity delete and you're terrified you'll never come back online, drop 3 words in the comments. I'm resetting now. That's it. Just those 3 words. Because naming where you are removes the terror. You're not broken. You're not lost. You're resetting. And if you know someone stuck in the crash, someone fighting the shutdown, someone who needs to hear that deletion isn't death, it's preparation. Share this with them. Tell them to write it too. I'm resetting now. Because sometimes we need permission to stop fighting the update. Permission to let the old system die. Permission to trust that what's being installed is worth everything being deleted. Subscribe to stay connected to this community. And if Super Thanks feels aligned, it helps these messages reach more people who need them. But whether you support or not, the fact that you're here doing the work, choosing yourself, that's what this is all about. Thank you. I'm proud of you. The truth is, you can't be who you were and become who you're meant to be. The operating systems are incompatible. One has to shut down completely for the other to install. And you're in the shutdown phase, watching everything familiar close, watching every certainty disappear, watching the screen go black. And it's terrifying because you can't see what's loading. You can't preview the new system. You can't guarantee it'll be better than what you had. All you can do is trust that the reset was initiated for a reason, that your current operating system couldn't hold the life you're about to live, that the deletion was necessary, that the darkness is temporary, and that when you reboot, when your system comes back online running on the new configuration, you'll understand why everything had to shut down, why every old program had to be deleted, why every familiar piece had to be erased. The Great Reset isn't something happening to the world. It's something happening inside you, right now, in real time. And there's no going back to the old system. There's only waiting for the new one to finish installing. So stop clicking, stop forcing, stop trying to skip the loading screen. Let the progress bar reach 100. Let the screen stay dark as long as it needs to. And when you finally reboot, when everything comes back on, the first thing you'll feel isn't relief. It's wonder. Wonder at how much power you were running without. Wonder at how small the old system kept you. Wonder at why you ever fought so hard to keep something that was never designed to hold you. The reset is almost complete. Stop resisting it. You're about to come back online, and nothing will ever run the same way again.